The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. It is Monday, April 29th, 2024. Menace considering F&M leadership run. And the Attorney General saying no intent to cut IRCA out of the BPL rate approval process. Later on, we'll be talking about food stuff with a newly opened restaurant at the cruise port. That's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning, Bahamas. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Chester Robards, filling in for Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Deandra Cartwright will be joining us. Also this morning, as I said, we'll be talking with the preacher's kid about his new restaurant. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while you were sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. And in the overnight, former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis said yesterday he will indicate at the appropriate time whether he will run for leader at the Free National Movement's convention on June 1st. If he intends to run, Minnis has to nominate by this Friday. He said, quote, "I am presently in discussion with relatives, family, etc., and at the appropriate time I will make an announcement." Last Thursday, the party announced it will hold its convention on June 1st. Nominations begin today and end Friday. All positions in the party will be up for contest. F&M leader Michael Pintard told the Nassau Guardian on Thursday that this will be the final voting convention prior to the next general election. Asked about that, Minnis said, "I don't know, there may possibly be an election before that, but the party has a constitution. We follow the constitution of the party, and it depends on what the constitution says moving forward. The F&M Constitution states that a convention shall be held at least once every 2 years. The party last held a convention in February 2022. Minnis said, quote, "I am a believer of the Constitution. Many would say, oh, I didn't have convention during my particular time, but check and see the number of conventions I had." And Attorney General Ryan Pinder indicated yesterday the media's interpretation of the section of the new electricity bill dealing with the Utilities Regulation and Competition Authority and its oversight of the setting of tariff rates by Bahamas Power and Light is inaccurate. The Electricity Bill 2024 states that ERCA shall, for a period of 3 years from the date of the commencement of this act, adopt and apply the tariff rate for any public electricity supplier or authorized public electricity supplier. After the bill was tabled last week, Nassau Guardian reported, quote, "In short, an electricity supplier could set what it charges consumers without regulatory approval. Currently, BPL must apply and get ERCA's permission to change its tariff as well as its fuel charge. In its Objects and Reasons section, the bill states that by virtue of Clause 38, the bill seeks to, quote, "introduce a transition period of 3 years whereby ERCA shall accept tariff rates as notified by public electricity suppliers and authorized public electricity suppliers while they prepare and submit a comprehensive tariff review." Asked yesterday what the justification is for cutting ERCA out of approving BPL tariff rates for 3 years, Pinder responded, "That is not the intent of that section." He added, quote, "A similar section was in the Electricity Act for 5 years. The intent of that section is the current tariffs will transition and be accepted by ERCA, and BPL will have 3 years to conduct a full tariff review, which we anticipate happening much sooner than 3 years." And a homeowner shoots a teen dead after he forced himself in. Police say an armed teenager who forced his way into a home on Cowpen Road shortly after midnight yesterday was shot dead during a struggle with the homeowner. Police said the homeowner, 41, and a woman, 36, were at home on Royal Palm Estates when someone knocked on the door. The man opened the door, and an unknown teen armed with a gun and another man forced themselves inside, police said. Police said the teenager made demands of the 41-year-old. However, the homeowner confronted him and got into a struggle with the teen. Police said the homeowner was able to disarm the teen and shot him multiple times. The second assailant began shooting at the homeowner as he fled the home. According to information received by police, both men exchanged shots but were not injured. Police said the teen was taken to a hospital where he died. The second gunman remains at large. And a man was murdered in Yellow Elder Gardens in New Providence shortly after midnight yesterday. Police said the victim, 27, was talking with a sibling inside the Graham Drive home when he heard a knock on the door. Police said the homeowner opened the door for a man who is known to the family. The man at the door then pulled out a gun and shot the 27-year-old man multiple times before fleeing the area, police said. Police were still searching for a suspect yesterday. And two prominent women's rights advocates said they were deeply disappointed with Prime Minister Philip Davis's suggestion that his administration does not deal with the controversial issue of marital rape. But the women said Davis has a duty to act. They said, quote, "Spousal rape is real and not a fantasy of the activists." They say, quote, "Rape is a crime that has been shown globally to be the most unreported and underreported crime, even more so than stranger or acquaintance rape. The silence and embarrassment of the victims of spousal rape must not be allowed to excuse the inaction of our government. Where is our due diligence as a nation to protect all citizens and have them live their lives free of violence? We cannot remain silent about this travesty of justice in our nation." Those are your top local headlines. Let's look at some news from overseas. Israeli officials appeared increasingly concerned that the International Criminal Court may issue arrest warrants against the country's leaders as international pressure mounts over the war in Gaza. Airstrikes overnight into Monday killed 22 people in a southern city, according to hospital records. The deaths in Rafah included 6 women and 5 children, one of whom was just 5 days old. According to the records and an Associated Press reporter, Israel is planning an invasion of the city, though its closest ally, the United States, and others have repeatedly warned against it, saying an offensive would spell catastrophe for the more than 1 million Palestinians sheltering there. Meanwhile, Israeli officials have referred in recent days to an ICC probe launched 3 years ago into possible war crimes committed by Israel and Palestinian militants going back to the 2014 Israel-Hamas war. The probe is looking at Israel's construction of settlements in occupied territory the Palestinians want for a future state. Let's take a look at sports now. And Devane Charlton continues to set the early season pace, blazing to a second-place finish at the Wanda Diamond League meet inside the Suzhou Olympic Sports Complex in Suzhou, China on Saturday. In her second Diamond League race in China in as many weeks, Charlton was once again the pace setter, getting out to the early lead and was just nipped at the line. Puerto Rican Jasmine Camacho Quinn, the Olympic champ and World Championship silver medalist, caught Charlton again, passing her at the latter part of the race for the second week in a row. Camacho Quinn won the women's 100 meters hurdle in 12.63 seconds, and Charlton was second in 12.64. Two-time world champion Danielle Williams of Jamaica finished third in 12.74 seconds. And Jazz hit second Grand Slam of the year, fourth of his career. Bahamian professional baseball player Jazzrado Jazz Chisholm Jr. put a jolt into a struggling offense on Sunday, but it wasn't enough as he and the Miami Marlins lost again, falling 12-9 to the Washington Nationals at Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Chisholm hit his second Grand Slam home run of the season and the fourth of his career on Sunday, but the Marlins lost 12-9. The Marlins have dropped 3 games in the series to the Nationals and have lost 6 in a row. They will wrap up the series this evening before hosting the Colorado Rockies in the 3-game set starting Tuesday. And Bahamian collegiate tennis player Jacoby Bain and the Xavier University of Louisiana Gold Rush have qualified for the National Association of Intercollegiate Athletics Tennis National Championships for a 15th straight time, winning the Red River Athletic Conference title. Bain, a junior, helped the Gold Rush team secure the doubles point, teaming up with the Nerio Suarez for a 6-1 victory over the team of David Ekpenyong and Killian Savory from the Our Lady of the Lake University Saints at the Zula Tennis Center on school's campus in New Orleans, Louisiana. Overseas Minnesota coach Chris Finch has a ruptured patellar tendon in his right knee after a collision with Timberwolves guard Mike Conley in the fourth quarter of the team's playoff win over the Phoenix Suns on Sunday night. Finch was helped off the court and later left the arena on a cart. The Timberwolves confirmed the nature of Finch's injury. Conley was trying to dribble down the sideline when he collided with Suns star Devin Booker and ran into Finch. Conley tried to brace their fall, but Finch grimaced and immediately grabbed his right knee. He was down for a few minutes, surrounded by Minnesota players, coaches, and staff before slowly getting up and being assisted off the court. Minnesota beat the Phoenix Suns 122-116 to sweep the first round series, advancing to the second round for the first time since 2004. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Now, time for your first look at weather. And here's your forecast for today, Monday, April 29th. Your general situation, breezy to windy conditions will continue across the islands due to a dominant high-pressure system centered north of the area. In special warnings, the presence of swells will maintain rough surf and choppy seas. There remains an elevated risk of rip currents, especially along northern and eastern shorelines. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, which includes Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, Berry Islands, Andros, New Providence, and Eleuthera, a mix of sun and clouds, warm and breezy with an occasional passing shower, mainly fair and mild tonight. A small craft advisory remains in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts, seas 4 to 6 feet near shore, building up to 8 feet in water offshore in northeast to easterly swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, which includes Exuma, Cat Island, Long Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, Ragged Island, Mayaguana, and Inagua, the weather will be partly cloudy, warm, and windy with a few passing showers through tonight. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots, gusty at times, seas 5 to 8 feet near shore, building up to 9 feet offshore in northeasterly to easterly swells. Your high temperature today, 81 degrees Fahrenheit. Your low temperature, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. We'll have an extended forecast for you later on in the show. When we come back, we're discussing some of the day's top stories. That's when Morning Blend continues here on Guardian Radio 96.9, home of fresh news and smart talk all day.
It's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
The signs are clear. It's time to pay less for your current mortgage by switching to Scotiabank. Enjoy lower interest rates and no payments up to 2 months when you switch to Scotiabank today. Plus, we'll even pay your switch costs. It's that easy. Ready to switch to Scotiabank? Call us today at 242-356-1697 or visit bs.scotiabank.com to switch your mortgage to become mortgage-free faster.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or are tech troubles simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Caves Village, or call 396-1100.
Living with a neurological condition shouldn't define you. At Cleveland Clinic in Florida, we do whatever it takes to make life better today while discovering new treatments for a brighter tomorrow. From epilepsy management to specialized spine care and brain tumor surgery, we're delivering world-class neurology care. For the day-to-day, for the days you live for every care in the world. Visit clevelandclinicflorida.org/Caribbean.
Get ready! On May 4th and 5th, athletes from around the world will compete to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics. Come, witness history as our Bahamian athletes run against the world and chase the sun. From paradise to Paris at the BTC World Athletic Relays here in Nassau, Bahamas at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office or at BTC Moreland Marathon or BTC Southwest Plaza. BTC World Relays. Be there.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Simplify lending's at an easier way. Brighten your tomorrow, starting today. Simplify lending for simplified living. Tuition, vacation, or a home redo. Simplify lending's here for you. Simplify lending for simplified living. Simplify lending for simplified living.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on www.guardiantalkradio.com and the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices, and on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 or BTC Flow Channel 612. Guardian Radio is all over social media. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm Chester Robards, again filling in for Dwight Strachan, and joining me in just a bit, Deandra Cartwright. But you can join our conversation today. Tweet us at MorningBlend969 or follow the hashtag MorningBlend. Be sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Leave your comments and read what others are saying about the topics on the show. You can email us at morningblend@nascar.com. You can always text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC. Text us at 422-GR96. That's 422-4796. Of course, standard text rates do apply. Of course, you can also always call us. We love to hear your voice. 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. You can call us toll-free from the Family Islands, 242-300-5720. Also coming up this morning, more weather and traffic, and we'll have business news coming up in Morning Blend Business. In our 8 o'clock hour, we'll be talking with the preacher's kid, Chef Simeon Hall Jr., on his new restaurant at the Nassau Cruise Port. And in Morning Blend Business at 9 o'clock, it's the ILO, International Labor Organization's World Day of Safety and Health at Work. OSHA Day. Can't wait. But first, it's time to talk about what's in the news. And in the news, of course, there's so much speculation about this upcoming Free National Movement Convention. Who knows where we are and where we're going to be. With that, of course, only a week to nominate, and those nominations start today, and not even a full week, so 5 days between today and Friday. Anyone who is contending for a spot on the F&M team will have only Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to nominate. And the Nassau Guardian caught up with former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis to find out for sure if he's going to nominate. But guess what? No absolute yet from him. He says he's in conversations with his family and friends and all and sundry to make sure this is the right decision if he intends to run again for leadership of the party. We know what's going on out there in the country. There are many people who get the heebie-jeebies when they think about the F&M's last administration, which, of course, was coupled up with the COVID-19 pandemic, and that created a not so amazing run for Dr. Hubert Minnis because a lot of people didn't agree with the way he treated COVID protocols, and then you got people who don't agree with how he ran the country overall, right? So he is up against a lot when it comes to what the next general election could look like if he is leader of the Free National Movement when that comes around. So who knows? So we still don't know for sure if we will have a Dr. Hubert Minnis running for, some people want him to running for the leadership of the Free National Movement. So here's what he says in a story in today's Nassau Guardian. He says, quote, "I am presently in discussion with relatives, family, etc., and at the appropriate time, I will make the announcement." He also have him here saying that, again, people keep saying this, I'm not sure why, that he says, I don't know, there may possibly be an election before that, and what he means is before they can have another F&M convention. But he says the party has a constitution, we follow the constitution of the party, and it depends on what the constitution says moving forward. He says, I'm a believer of the constitution. Many would say, oh, I didn't have convention during my particular time, but check and see the number of conventions I had. He says, of course, during the pandemic, I couldn't have a convention. During Hurricane Dorian, I couldn't have a convention. You look at the other countries, they didn't have either because they had to deal with the pandemic and different disasters that the world was facing. He says, I'm a firm believer of the Constitution. He does say, though, that he disagrees with the decision to hold a one-day convention. He says the party has called convention. That was the decision of the council, and I accept it. He says, however, quote, I don't necessarily agree with a one-day convention. The convention is a time when the party showcases its talent and its future leaders to the public to convince them that these are the individuals with their views, their ideas to carry the country forward. It's also an opportunity for a party to inform the nation as to their policies and their programs and how they are going to carry the country forward, and to convince the populace that you are better than the present government, the BLP. It's an opportunity for you to talk about the cost of living crisis. It's an opportunity to talk about the crime crisis. It's an opportunity to talk about the immigration crisis, the infrastructure crisis, and of course, the health crisis, the disasters that we're experiencing. We're foregoing all of that. So that's how Dr. Hubert Minnis feels about the one-day convention, saying that the party is missing an opportunity to get all of that information out there. So last week, the leader of the party, Michael Pintard, told the Nassau Guardian that it's time for the party to deal with the issue of unity. He says, we're going to have a non-voting convention to deal with the number of the other business for the party prior to the end of March of next year. But we thought the issue of the question of unity in the party needed to be settled. And we believe that one of the ways to address this is to once and for all determine which team will be leading us into the election so that the party can then galvanize behind that team. And we fully expect that the team that is in place is the team that will continue. So he's confident of a win there. So let's get your views on that. We also, this story, a wild story about a homeowner who confronted an armed teenager who broke into their home on Cowpen Road yesterday. So according to police and the story in the Nassau Guardian, the man opened the door. So let's start from the beginning. An armed teenager, the story says, forced his way into a home on Cowpen Road shortly after midnight and was shot dead during a struggle with the homeowner. Police said the homeowner, 41, and a woman, 36, were at home on Royal Palm Estates when someone knocked on the door. The man opened the door, and an unknown teen armed with a gun and another man forced themselves inside. Okay. So, police said the teenager made demands of the 41-year-old, but the 41-year-old confronted him, got into a struggle with the teen, and police said he was able to disarm the teen and shot him multiple times. The second person who was with the teen also began shooting at the homeowner as he fled the home. Okay, I don't know who was fleeing the home in this story. The assailant or the homeowner, but probably the assailant. According to information received by police, both men exchanged shots but were not injured. The teen was taken to hospital where he died. The second gunman remains at large, and police searched the property, and found 705 pounds of marijuana worth $705,000 and a gun with ammunition. The homeowner was arrested in connection with the find. So, pretty wild story, eh? Now you're not surprised why there might have been gunmen at the homeowner's door in the first place. After we find out that police searched the home and found marijuana that allegedly belonged to the homeowner. So, wild story. And we probably want to talk a little bit about what the Attorney General is talking about, saying that the government had no intent to cut IRCA out of the BPL rate approval process. As the Nassau Guardian reported last week, after the new Electricity Act was tabled, the electricity bill was tabled, the language seemed to suggest that IRCA would not have a say about the rate approval process for BPL for 3 years while they look into the rate. But Attorney General Ryan Pinder is saying that is not going to be the case. So let's talk about it. This text message coming in already talking about the marital rape issue. There's a story in the Nassau Guardian. PM must act on marital rape, women's group says. It says, good morning. I hope you bring up briefly this discussion of marital rape. I would like for the two activists to come out to the public and advise how many cases are there reported to our police force in regards to marital rapes. I want to know the numbers. I want to know the data supporting or surrounding this. And I am a woman asking this question. Okay. This person talking about the F&M convention, saying, good morning, Chester. The Wonder Convention, I guess they mean one-day convention, is good. You don't have to spend a bunch of money. To you, later, one person, if Minutes runs again, I would not vote again. Okay, see, starting already. One text message is saying if Dr. Minutes runs again, they won't vote again. I think I think Michael Pintard's idea behind the one-day convention is a pretty solid idea, and then in another convention later on, able to focus on what the party wants to do as they make a bid for the run of the country. That makes sense to me. All this talk about telling the nation and the people, letting them hear and find out what the party has for the country. I mean, how much regular people end up at these conventions listening to these things in the first place? Right? It's mostly diehard F&M people. We had a call coming in. Caller, call back. So, yeah. I think the one-day convention is fine. There keeps being this talk about an early election for some reason. Not sure what that's all about. If any of you have any idea, let me know. Let's take this call that's coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, my brother. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, in reference to the F&M convention and Mr. Menace potentially putting his hat in the race again, I don't know how they view the Bahamian people, but at some point, Bahamian people got to really stand up, man, and say, hey, we are not that naive and silly to have another leader like Mr. Hubert Menace. And I think that we need a new direction in this country, man. PLP and F&M. It's time for the Bahamian people to say, what do we really want to see this country in the next 5 years? We cannot continue in this trajectory that we are heading in, because it seems as if the Bahamian are becoming the minority, and those who can afford to go to other countries for a better way of living are moving. We cannot continue in this trajectory. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that call. Yeah, a lot of people saying that we need to see something new, and I absolutely agree. Our leaders think we are naive. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Morning, Chester. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Doing great. Listen, I heard that previous text. All I'm going to say to the Bahamian people, voting, the ability to vote for a government, and you not voting is not one of the best ideas that one can have. There are many persons around the world in other countries wishing for the desire to vote for their government. Mm-hmm. Now, in terms of the F&M party, that particular text said, well, if Dr. Minnis runs in the next general election, he's not going to vote. But there are other options in the party that person can vote for. But voting, it should not be an option that you should just lightly dismiss. I believe you should exercise your vote. It behooves some of us, when we get to this mindset that, oh, well, if the person that we really want is not the one putting themselves up to vote, putting themselves up for leadership, if that person doesn't, then I'm not voting. Trust me, this is why the country is where it's at now. This is why our parliament is lopsided the way how it is, because it is of those mindsets. You have to vote in your elections. Vote for the person, even if it's the party that you're attached to and is representing your party, then vote. And I believe this election here in closing is going to be a very, very crucial one for this country, because right now this country is lopsided towards the abyss of where we see failures on the ground, where many families right now are struggling in this wealthy country. Mm-hmm. We have to fix this country. Mm-hmm. If we don't come together collective as Bahamians and begin to really take our country seriously and to see what's going on in our country, and you want to sit back and you want to allow this foolishness to continue, I can tell you, our children are going to curse us for generations to come. That's all I'm going to say for now, but thanks for taking my call as usual.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah. Let's take this next call coming in. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, good morning, my friend. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Look, so I'm good. Suppose we just let all PLPs form a line, let all FNMs form a line, let all everybody else form a line, count how many people are on the line, and then the longest line wins. That's the way they do it in the Amazon, you know.
Oh, yeah.
But I just thought it was a joke for you, man.
I like it.
You do. Yeah. But you know, but on topic, Pintard is about to face a major hurdle right now. And I know he's probably not easy. But I did hear you say that Dr. Minnis is running from something.
Yeah, that was a mistake. But hey, it could be true. It could be true.
Don't just briefly look over what your intuition,
Mm-hmm.
your subconscious said to you.
Mm-hmm.
That's where truth lies most of the time.
I see.
You know that little voice that says, you know, you shouldn't do that? That's the same one that probably caused you to... But let me give you something or someone he should run to. Let him run toward Mr. Pintard and say, Father, I have sinned. I have done things that I should not have. And instead of being a tyrant, I want to join you so that together we can build instead of what I'm going to probably do anyway, even though I'm telling you I want to build, destroy. Because the challenge is just a matter of trying to tear a cut in the party. That's not building. And he's supposed to be a medical professional, you know. He's supposed to be about healing these wounds, not cutting up the place. And that's why he might just not win if he decides to run against Pintard.
Yeah, I hear that.
All right?
All right. Thank you so much, brother. I just want to deal with something Jeff said. You know, he's saying you can understand the frustration of people who say, you know, they just wouldn't vote. And again, we the people, the majority, don't choose who runs our country, right? The little party convention, you know, the people who are in that room are the people who choose the leader of this country moving forward, right? Because of how our system works. And so I understand, I feel the frustration of the person who says, I just wouldn't vote, right? We don't get it. We don't get to choose. Unless you join a party, you don't get to choose who runs the country, who's the top man of the country, who's the CEO of the country, who makes the gang of the decisions, the bulk of the decisions at cabinet, you know, who makes the decision on who is going to fill cabinet posts and therefore decides essentially who runs each part of the inner workings of a country. So I understand the frustration. So until we change that system, we will have a handful of people choosing the leader of this country. Let's take this next call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend. Morning, caller, you there? Let's take this next call. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Hi, good morning, Chester.
Good morning.
Morning. There was a prime minister who once said, sometime I may do something that goes beyond the Constitution. You remember who that was?
I don't remember who that was.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was Dr. Minnis.
Oh.
Now he's saying he believes in the Constitution.
He means he believes in his party's constitution.
Yeah. It was evident that when Dr. Minnis was in power, there are two ministers that he obviously had very little discussion with, which was Michael Pintard and Dr. Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
And now he is saying that he believes in unity, you know.
Yeah.
And then not only that, last week he said something about respect goes both ways. You know, he needed to start the respect before he started asking for respect,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Because there were persons who were close to him in his party that he disrespected, you know. So ministers actually speak with two tongues,
Mm.
you know.
Yeah.
He speaks with two tongues. He said, no, but he believes in the Constitution, you know.
Yeah.
He said may have to be a time, sometimes he has to go against the Constitution. Now he believes in it. Only when he is actually out of power, he believes in that. So he obviously, he have double tongue.
Mm-hmm.
So the public really cannot believe what the minister say.
All right.
Okay, have a good day, buddy.
Thank you for your views. Let's take another call there. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Yes, how you doing?
Good.
Alan Johnson here.
Hey, Seattle.
Lone gun. You're the lone gunman this morning.
Yes, sir.
Well, I agree with the last caller concerning Hubert Minnis. One of the most powerful things is, leadership that he said a few years ago. Leadership has been able to follow. Just look at the things that he said that they need to address, right? The health, the breadth of inflation, all these different things. The question that Minnis has asked himself and FNS has asked himself, in a party that he led to a devastating loss, that he would have worked with his colleagues to continuously advocate and do these things all along. We see him go to Parliament, make a few points, and then leave. I see his surrogates make points of, hey, Mr. Michael Pintard lost West Grand Bahama. But they fail to, and these are anonymous faces. You say you have this leader with this supposedly that you want to support, but you're afraid to put your name to your support for him. And so you say that Michael Pintard lost West Grand Bahama. But if you do a comparative analysis, you have a seat that was held for 30 or maybe more years by Hubert Alexander Ingram that was lost by Hubert Minnis, and he still turned around and won the election, in a by-election, right? That was an F&M seat for all intent and purpose, comparative to the West End seat.
Yeah.
And so, but when you look at his failures, and people say about, Dr. Minnis in the 2.5 years has not issued an apology or spoke to the Bahamian people concerning his multiple failures. If you had time, I could go through 108 of them right now that I've documented so far of failure. But the greatest failure is that opportunity that was provided to Minnis in the 21st century that allows a complete reset of a whole lot of different things that he allowed he did no inaction. Leadership is also about the ability to lead. And so who chose Minnis' cabinet that brought those failures that he may be running from? Was it not him? Was in the cabinet the choice of the Prime Minister at the pleasure of? And so the entire time that he served, 8 months short. And you have to ask yourself this other question. Dr. Minnis came to us as being, and I want FNMs to consider this. He came to us and asked for a 5-year contract. Throughout the time it was asked, are you going to run? Are you going to call an early election? Are you going to call an election? No. He has an agenda. And what did he do to the FNM? He told them all to line up, and we have 8 months to go, and then he dropped the ball. He like how you say the football player just rest the ball on the ground and call the game over. Okay? So it's a lot of things that Dr. Minnis has an explanation to the Bahamian people to show what is it today that is different than he was a few years ago, that we should even consider him to lead the FNM, not less lead the Bahamas. The world has changed. We have artificial intelligence, the law of technology doubling every 24 months, the 18 to 24 months, it's been reduced to under 12 months. The world has totally changed. We need leadership right now that understands the very wall that even Mr. Davis talked about the so-called rich and these other people, that they've been torn down. And technology has taken over. We need a leadership that can bring together the next generation of Bahamians. The millennials from 1980 to 1995, Gen Z from 1996 to 2010, the next gen from 2011 onward, have not been included in the economics of this Bahamas. We need a leadership that doesn't necessarily have to know exactly how to do those things, but has the ability to bring together individuals that understand what the next 50 years of the Bahamas should be about. We have had leadership cemented in the past and deniers of the future. We need policies, we need programs, we need legislation, we need processes that is rapidly adopted. We don't need an evolution anymore, I don't know, are you familiar with the difference between evolution and revolution? Evolution is a slow process. Revolution is abrupt, fast, and hard.
Yeah.
We need an economic revolution in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
There's gateways, there's doorways, there's fintech and tokenization, and all of these things that are now open up that gives Bahamians access to the capital that they have often been denied. we're not having these type of conversation. We are having a conversation is, you are more incompetent than me, you are more inept than me, you are more incapable of me, which then means that you have to admit that you are inept and incompetent and incapable to say somebody's more than you. What we need is leadership that taps into the collective intelligence of all Bahamians, not just in the Bahamas, but outside of the Bahamas. And in my honest opinion of what I see, the choices we have today, if the election was called today, Michael Pintard is that choice. The FNM has to recognize that. To bring Minas back then gives us the choice of choosing the lesser of but 3 or 4 evils. But that choice, there's still evil. We need to have a choice that's clear and concise. And I would invite anybody who wants to have a competent, clear engagement concerning my opinion, and I'm sure the majority of millennials and Gen Z, of what their needs are and who is best equipped from what's available today, I will be open to that discussion.
All right.
Not the faces thing, but I'm saying to people, FNMs, consider this the fate of your party for the next 10 years in deciding to go back as opposed to build forward.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Let's try and put this next call through before we got to go to a break. Good morning, caller. Welcome to Morning Blend.
Good morning, Jeff. How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm not one of those rabid FNM supporters and what's not, but I try to put country first. But I do support the FNM.
Yeah.
And the truth is, PM Menace, like I said, even the mention of his name still opens wounds for people. And people are get upset and angry and, you know what I'm saying? So the FNM lost in a landslide under his leadership. And because of his leadership. So I feel all this talk about him coming back and whatever, there might be a handful of FNMs in the party that might want him to come back because of what they got from benefits they got or whatever they feel they'll be getting when he comes back. But really and fully, anyone with sense knows this country will not vote Menace back into office. That's just ridiculous. And I think personally, he is just being vindictive and spiteful against those who didn't support him when he was leader and he was trying to become leader. You know what I'm saying? But a bigger concern I have, I don't want to get off topic, but I read a little while back that the magistrate lost files in the Reckley case. It brings me back to things like the Oban case where the files were lost. And it's like, I feel as if this whole thing is just a distraction. And our main problem in the country isn't being addressed. Like, how can files go missing in major cases? And, like, it's a lot of stuff that goes on that people just sweep under the rug and pretend that it doesn't happen. And then wonder why crime and corruption and things could never change.
Yeah.
And then they'd be like, oh, we want to pray for this and pray for that. But we know the issues. It's like no one's acting like they even see a big headline, magistrate loses files. Like, when I read that, I'm like, you can't be serious. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I'm not living in the Bahamas. I was saying that this is not a real country, and unless I lived here, I would think this is not a real country. But like I say, the Menace thing, I think is just smoke and mirrors, because there's no way in the world anyone with any right-thinking sensibility will even believe he has a chance to win on general election in this country again.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. That's a interesting comment to take us straight to the break. We're going to go to a break in Morning Blend. We'll return on the other side.
It's the start of the new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new
This
day.
is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
RBC. Are you buying a home, renovating, or exploring mortgage options? With cash back and up to 90% financing, we'll find the perfect mortgage for you. Pre-qualify in just 60 seconds and get connected with a mortgage specialist today. Visit rbc.com/mortgages/all of you. RBC. Conditions apply.
It's time for your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC, a bank for all of you. And in traffic, where was that traffic, Deandra?
Kerfluffle on East Street.
East Street, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then again, it's Monday morning, traffic all over.
Yeah.
So,
Let's see what the traffic situation is looking like in your hot spots.
At least they stopped the roadworks right there on the back end of the Harbor Bay shopping center on Shirley Street, because that's had traffic flowing through the Harbor Bay shopping center on the back end of it. I think it happened on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Good to know. So traffic is backed up on Gladstone Road. Almost to Fire Trail Road. It starts to go slowly there. Traffic on Sir Milo Butler Highway, as you would imagine, backed up all the way to Fire Trail Road, with some buildup on Fire Trail Road eastbound. Of course, that is causing lots of traffic there on Tonic Williams Darling Highway. We've got traffic building on West Bay Street as you enter downtown, just past Nassau Street. Not too much to speak about by Saunders Beach, but traffic is building there. On the Eastern Road, lots of traffic after the Fox Hill intersection, heading westbound. Heading westbound just before Fox Hill Road, though, not bad as yet, but as you cross that intersection, you will run into lots of traffic. Traffic on Bernard Road between Soldier Road and almost back to Fox Hill Road. Just close to a Catherine, you'll find traffic, then heading all the way over to Soldier Road. Traffic building on Blue Hill Road and Carmichael Road intersection. On Blue Hill Road, as you head northbound to the roundabout, there's lots of traffic there. You're going to want to exercise your patience. That's your first look at traffic. Brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you. And now at 7:51, it is time for your morning blend weather check, brought to you by Easy Car Sales. Your general situation: breezy to windy conditions will continue across the islands due to a dominant high-pressure system centered north of the area. The presence of swells will maintain rough surf and choppy seas. There remains an elevated risk of rip currents, especially along northern and eastern shorelines. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, which includes Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, Berry Islands, Andros, New Providence, and Eleuthera, a mix of sun and clouds, warm and breezy with an occasional passing shower, mainly fair and mild tonight. A small craft advisory remains in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas 4 to 6 feet near shore, building up to 8 feet in offshore water in northeast to easterly swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, which includes Exuma, Cat Island, Long Island, San Salvador, and Rum Key, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, Ragged Island, Mayaguana, and Inagua, weather partly cloudy, warm and windy with a few passing showers through night. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 25 knots, gusty at times. Seas 5 to 8 feet near shore, building up to 9 feet offshore in northeast to easterly swells. Your high temperature today, 81 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. Your low temperature, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. In your extended forecast for the next 2 days, high pressure will maintain breezy and rather stable conditions across the islands through Tuesday. The high will shift further east into the Atlantic on Wednesday and allow the winds to subside, but troughing will support shower activity in the central and southeast Bahamas. And we'll have a look at Tuesday and Wednesday for you in our 8 o'clock hour. That's your weather check, brought to you by Easy Car Sales.
Doctors Hospital has reimagined primary care. We have invested to improve our health system, ensuring that accessible, affordable, world-class clinical care is closer to you. We understand that your relationship with a primary care provider shapes the foundation of your overall health. Our new modern primary care facilities are where critical diagnoses and true personalized treatment begins. With locations across New Providence, Grand Bahama, and Exuma, we invite you to experience the Doctors Hospital difference. Book your next appointment at clinics.doctorshosp.com.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef, it's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Get ready for another exciting Fish Fry Friday, May 3rd at Margaritaville, downtown Nassau. Kicking off the month of May, celebrating Nurses Month. From 6:30 p.m. to 11:30 p.m., featuring the Big Band Visage and DJ Beats. We salute all the nurses as we celebrate Nurses Month at Fish Fry Friday.
Me girl call her knocks if I leave home. Well, I tell she are real close. Girl, I almost there.
Admission $25 general, $55 for the Bahamian Buffet at Vacation Cafe and the party. All government workers get $5 off their entry with your work ID. You can win passes to dine at Vacation Cafe and passes to the water park. So make your plans to be at Fish Fry Friday. For the best in Soca Bahamian and your favorite old school jams. Fish Fry Friday, Margaritaville, downtown Nassau, 12 Old Palm, May 3rd.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
You've seen electric cars on the road, but isn't it time you drive one? Easy Car Sales invites you to experience the smooth, powerful ride and immerse yourself in the luxury and latest tech features. Find out why the Bahamas is going electric. Visit easy242.com and book your test drive now. What are you waiting for? Save money, drive smarter. There's an EV waiting for you at Easy Car Sales.
Here's to the go-getters, the early risers, and the late-night dreamers. You, the visionaries, painting futures in your mind, in your studio, your office, your sacred space. Here's to the adventurers, explorers of every realm. To you, the innovators, turning the cogs of progress. In a world where connection is a lifeline, a pathway to possibilities. Alive is the perfect connection for everyone, every lifestyle. Every day.
Visit BeAlive.com today.
Mothers are the heart of our homes, the soul of our memories, and the guiding light through life's journeys. Show your love with a gift from Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale, Friday, May 3rd through Saturday, May 11th. Enjoy 20% off selected dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. One lucky person can win a gift basket for Mother's Day. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale, May 3rd through 11th. Happy Mother's Day, all with love from Kelly's House and Home.
RBC is a bit for all of you. Life is full of twists, turns, and defining moments that create your own unique story. However your story unfolds, we're here to help guide you through it. From every big decision to every new adventure, RBC is a bit for all of you. Visit rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's there. It's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. 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 Wake up, wake up.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
And now at 8:22, it's time for your final look at this morning's weather, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Your general situation, breezy to windy conditions, will continue across the islands due to a dominant high-pressure system centered north of the area. In special warnings, the presence of swells will maintain rough surf and choppy seas. There remains an elevated risk of rip currents, especially along northern and eastern shorelines. For the northern and northwest Bahamas, which includes Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini, Berry Islands, Andros, New Providence, and Eleuthera, a mix of sun and clouds, warm and breezy with an occasional passing shower, mainly fair and mild tonight. A small craft advisory remains in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots with higher gusts. Seas 4 to 6 feet near shore, building up to 8 feet in offshore water in northeast to easterly swells. For the central and southeast Bahamas, including Exuma, Cat Island, Long Island, San Salvador, Rum Key, Acklands, Crooked Island, Long Key, Ragged Island, Mayaguana, and Inagua, weather partly cloudy, warm and windy with a few passing showers through night. A small craft advisory remains in effect. Winds northeast to east at 15 to 20 knots, 25 knots, gusty at times. Seas 5 to 8 feet near shore, building up to 9 feet offshore in northeast to easterly swells. Your high temperature today, 81 degrees Fahrenheit, 27 degrees Celsius. Your low temperature tonight, 70 degrees Fahrenheit, 21 degrees Celsius. In your extended forecast for the next 2 days, high pressure will maintain breezy and rather stable conditions across the islands through Tuesday. The high will shift further east into the Atlantic on Wednesday and allow the winds to subside, but troughing will support shower activity in the central and southeast Bahamas. Your forecast for Tuesday, weather partly sunny, warm and breezy with occasional passing showers during the day, fair and mild at night. Small craft advisory will be in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northern and northwest Bahamas, east to southeast at 15 to 20 knots in the central Bahamas and southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, building up to 8 feet offshore in northeast to easterly swells. Your outlook for Wednesday, weather partly sunny and warm with a stray shower or two in the northwest Bahamas. Partly cloudy, warm and a bit breezy with scattered showers in the central and southeast Bahamas. Small craft caution will be in effect due to swells. Winds east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots in the northern and northwest Bahamas, easterly at 10 to 15 knots in the central Bahamas, and 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet near shore and in sheltered areas, building up to 7 feet offshore in northeast to easterly swells. Your weather check brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints has got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in store today. And time again for your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC, a bank for all of you. In traffic, Somali Butler Highway, still patchy traffic, backed up to Fire Trail Road, but Fire Trail Road eastbound looking much better. The traffic now backed up south of the Fire Trail Road roundabout on Somali Butler Highway, but it looks like it's flowing. The Carmichael intersection with Blue Hill Road, traffic backed up just a little bit, but not as bad as it could be. Traffic on Blue Hill Road northbound to the roundabout still pretty thick. Traffic on Glaston Road looking just as bad as it did in the 7:30 hour. Exercise patience on that road. And by Saunders Beach, traffic is backed up close to Go Slow Bend. But it seems like it's moving. It's a slow process heading eastbound into downtown, though, and some traffic downtown. On the Eastern Road, traffic still bad as you pass Fox Hill Road heading westbound. It loosens up just before Village Road, but nothing backed up past Eastern Road. It's pretty clear there as you head down to San Souci. Some traffic on Soldier Road headed northbound toward Village Road. And some buildup on Marathon Road northbound towards Wolf Road. Those are your traffic hot spots. Brought to you by RBC. Learn more at rbc.com/Caribbean/all of you.
Moment from Shelley and Dee Dee.
We're the only full art store in the Bahamas. If we don't have it, we make a list, and trust me, our boss can get that. If you need that, he can get that. You can find sketchbooks, acrylics, the canvases in all sizes, stencils. We have the Angelus that they use on shoes and letters. We're the only persons in Nassau that carries the Montana spray. We have the Krylon sprays, watercolor in paints, the oil, chalk paints, the alcohol paint, metallic paints, a little Floetrol, and we have cleaning products for the artists, thinning products for the artists, and Crayola colors, and glitters, pencils, the Posca markers, and pastels, oil, and the acrylic pastels, dyes. Oh yeah, we also have airbrush paint. I don't forget that part of the movie. Gift sets, hobby craft,
Oil, shrimp, stew, shrimp gumbo. But art supplies. We have a lot of them. Sherwin-Williams Art Store. Find colour in every day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
In 2023, over 9 million visitors came to the Bahamas. This year, we plan on shattering that record. That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Paradise is not only found in Nassau, but throughout our 16-island destination.
No matter who you are or what you do, we all have a part to play in our tourism industry.
This is our country.
These are our islands.
This is our home.
That's why tourism is everyone's business.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
When I'm walking down them rocky, narrow dirt roads, with a basket of potatoes on my head. Oh, don't you worry, I come from down home. That's where the island folks bake their potato bread. They bake it down home, outside in the Dutch oven down home, wrapped in banana leaf down home. My, it tastes so sweet down home.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards, along with Deandra Cartwright, who is in studio with me. I didn't get to tell you all one thing, so let me tell you now. And that is, Easy Car Sales is pleased to announce the new Geely pickup trucks that have arrived. Come and see the luxurious and spacious design of this exceptional all-electric truck. Great torque, large payload, dual cab, and the latest technology that will amaze you. Visit easy242.com to find out more and book your test drive. Reserve yours today. These Geely pickups won't stay on the lot for long. There you have it. We're switching gears just now. Hopefully we'll get to your text messages in just a bit. But we are pleased to be joined by Chef Simeon Hall Jr., and we're talking about the Preacher's Kid restaurant at the Nassau Cruise Port. Welcome to the show, Chef.
Morning. Thanks for having me in Morning Bahamas.
Oh, thank you for coming to talk to us about the Preacher's Kid. I've seen it out at the cruise port. I was excited to see, obviously, when they were building things that was coming. So tell us, what is it? What is it about? What kind of restaurant are we talking about?
Well, we're talking about a restaurant that is about island soul food, dishes that we've reimagined that a lot of people certainly will be reminiscent and bring back and spark nostalgia while giving you a modern day twist. And so, we realized that being at the Nassau Cruise Port, we had to cater to visitors and Bahamians alike. And so it's identifiable for Bahamians, mm-hmm. and certainly intriguing for those that are visiting us.
Okay. What is I don't want to make a bad joke here, but what does that mean? What does that mean for catering for tourists? What does that mean for seasoning?
Well, what that means is maybe the only thing I'd have to say is that our hot isn't super hot. Right. Other than that, our seasonings are as down home as you can get them. But we aren't spicy. To be honest, I don't truly like spicy food that makes it unbearable.
Right.
I know Bahamians have a really high tolerance for spice.
Yeah.
So the only thing that we've adjusted is our spice level. That's it. Everything else remains the same.
So you're telling me if I come down and get one of your dishes, I may find some gold pepper?
No, that's what I'm telling you. You won't find.
Oh.
Yeah, and to be honest, there isn't much gold pepper around in the Bahamas anymore anyhow, so you're not finding gold pepper much places anyway.
Oh, tell us about what is that?
Could you explain more? Because I
What-
just
what are
found
we
bags
finding?
of them at the farmer's market on Saturday.
Yeah, that ain't gold pepper. Those are unfortunately those are habaneros and Scotch bonnet peppers. They're not gold peppers. Gold peppers are heirloom variety that has been wiped out because of the importation, but that's a whole different story.
Yeah.
A whole different
Yeah.
broadcast. So
Yeah.
you ain't getting gold pepper hardly nowhere.
Well, it's a good thing I get mine
ain't
from
no
Long
different.
Island then.
You're gonna have to go to one of those grassroots farmers who still has the breed
Mhm.
and get those. But there ain't much gold pepper around.
Yeah. Okay. Good to know. Glad you told us that this morning. But so,
Yeah.
what the name of the restaurant for people who don't know? Tell us where that came from.
Well, I don't know how many people don't know, but my name is
Yeah.
Simeon Hall Jr., the beloved son, only son of Bishop Simeon Hall. And so it is an homage to being a preacher's kid.
Yeah.
Everybody in the Bahamas knows and talks about being a preacher's kid. And so we stumbled on that as a name for the restaurant, and it stuck.
Yeah.
And so now, we're very happy because my dad used to sell food and different items out here right opposite where the restaurant now is.
Get out of here.
With my grandmother.
Really?
So it's come full circle. So that's why the name is there.
Oh, that's a great story. What kind of stuff was he a chef as well at some point?
Oh, if he's listening, he might tell you he is, but he certainly is not. He can make one dish that he's super proud of, and
Okay.
it's called tra-la-la. Don't ask me how or why. But no, my grandmother was Nola the Bay Crab lady. And so he's been in the restaurant world all of his life as well. So, it was sort of a natural progression for us.
So is there a tra-la-la on your menu?
My friend, tra-la-la, just by the name, you could know that's something what only one person can make.
I'm hearing a sense of pride there,
Well,
No, of course. I mean, when he does make it, it's amazing, but it's a cook-up. It's
Yeah.
a pilau. It's
Oh,
everything
okay.
inside the pot. And so, we have items that are influenced because of what he did, what my grandmother did, what other people have done in our journey. So, I'm definitely
Yeah.
very, very proud of that.
So speaking of the influences, what I know you said Bahamians will find stuff they recognize, but with a bit of a twist. So what named dishes that Bahamians would recognize do you have there that you've put a twist on?
Well, there's one of our top sellers is called a stew crunch.
Okay.
The stew crunch is a stew fish sandwich. We explored the idea of making a stew fish into a sandwich, and we did it. And so that is going exceptionally well. And then everybody knows fire engine. Well, we have a fire station.
Oh.
And that is because there are two different types of corned beef on that sandwich. One is Bahamian style braised corned beef. And then the other one is corned beef brisket. And
Okay.
so we combine the two of those. And so whenever the guests come in, they know what corned beef brisket is, and they ask us what is braised corned beef. And then vice versa. So that is one of our top sellers. So that is the way that we've reimagined Bahamian comfort food.
Right.
And so that's how we got up with island soul food.
I can't wrap my mind around the fish sandwich, the stew fish sandwich.
So that's one of those things that you have to come in and taste for yourself. Believe you me, it's one of the things that most people have enjoyed.
Well.
In fact, I was sitting with somebody last night who's been here 2 or 3 times, and they say that's still their favorite.
Well, now you got me sold. I'm coming to taste it for sure. We were hoping to taste some stuff today. Dwight told me, but We definitely got to come down and get a taste of that stuff. So,
please.
What about
sure.
what about any special drinks on the menu that we could talk about?
No, we have. Well, the only thing that we do is we serve. Well, right now we're serving all three of the local beers. We hope to bring on the last one very, very soon. But we do soft drinks and local Bahamian beers, which will be Sans, Kalik, Riptide, and Pirates.
Okay.
And they're all brewed here locally. So we're very happy to do that as well. And we serve them at a unbelievable price.
Yeah. Well, what are your opening times? Do you do breakfast, lunch, and dinner? How does
Yes,
that work?
well, we have an all-day lunch program.
Mhm.
So we open up Monday to Thursday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Friday and Saturday from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and then on Sunday, we have 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. So there's definitely, time for everybody, people who work downtown. And then anytime after 5, we have free parking right in the back of the port.
Right.
Because we know that parking is an issue, but this is downtown Bahamas. And we all know that has been somewhat of a thing for a long time. But if you're coming in the after hours, we have you covered because we have free parking right behind the restaurant.
Yeah. What is that traction looking like in terms of people coming into the restaurant? You got the downtown workers, I'm sure, happy for a new restaurant, and then you got the cruise port guests, and then you got this great happy hour on Fridays now.
Yeah, it's looking really good. Our numbers have been steadily increasing over the last 2 to 3 weeks. We're super happy on the way that the restaurant is going, the way that it's been received by our guests that are visiting, but to me, most importantly, by the locals. When you see people start driving to come to your restaurant and driving to come down just to eat and hang out for 2-3 hours, you're doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we're starting to see. On Saturday, we had pretty much all of our tables on the outside were filled with mainly locals who came on, not working and came on their day off. So we're very, very excited to see how things are shaping up.
Excellent. Glad to hear that. You took some time to get the restaurant together. What about the decor? What can you tell us about that?
Well, Bahamian.
Yeah.
It's a walk-up restaurant. We only have seating on the outside.
Right.
No seating on the inside. It's a fast casual restaurant. We're averaging very, very quick times in our turnaround, making food from scratch, but we're not hanging up anybody. We've literally explored and thought about so many things that we wish we could see happen differently in the restaurant scene in the Bahamas, and we tried to change it. Yeah. A lot of them are working. The ones that aren't, we're adjusting those and we're making it as comfortable and as smooth, but most importantly, as delicious for as most people that want to visit us as possible.
Yeah. And are you working on, I guess you're working on new things for the menu? Is that ongoing, or are you going to stick with what you have for now?
Yes, we're going to have seasonal items added every so often.
Yeah.
So as most fast casual restaurants do, they have seasonal stuff. We already have about 12 items in the bag. So we can drop new items at the drop of a dime. But because we want to keep it exciting, we want to keep it fresh, we want to keep it seasonal. We want to keep it where, people who are coming here, and we've already started to get people who come here 3-4 times a week, they won't get bored. Yeah. And so we are definitely exploring, making sure we have seasonal specials.
Yeah, excellent. I judge every restaurant on their French fries, so when I come there, I'm definitely having that.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this is what I think is sort of the foundation of the restaurant. I got with Cisco Bahamas and insisted that we tasted 14 different French fries.
Wow.
Dedication.
14 different French fries to get to the one that I absolutely love. And believe it or not, we are getting reviews that are saying that our French fries are absolutely delicious.
Well, Now I'm definitely coming maybe today.
So if you come in, just let me know, and I guarantee you, I honestly stand behind our food. Our food is the cornerstone of this restaurant. I've been cooking for many, many years. Everybody wanted us to have an anchor. Where are you at, Chef Simeon? Where can I find you? And now there's a place. So after all that time, the least we could do is serve really, really tasty food.
Yeah.
And that's what we are trying to do every single day.
Well, Chef Simeon Hall Jr., the name is the cornerstone of cooking, it seems, in the country. We hear your name all the time everywhere. So you're renowned already.
Yes.
What else you got going on? What else you got going on?
Oh, man, what else I got going on? I got some other projects in the pipeline. I got a cookbook that we're finally going to be able to bring to life. I got some other projects. I continue to represent the Bahamas in international events abroad.
Yeah.
We just came back from South Beach Wine and Food Festival, Charleston Wine and Food Festival. We've already been invited back to next year's festival. And I'm also going to be back headlining at the Bahamas Art and Food Festival this year.
Yeah.
So it's going to be between the restaurant, the cookbook, the other projects, and the few events that we're taking on. It's going to be an amazing year to represent Bahamian food culture.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
great.
It's been a pleasure talking to you about it. You definitely going to see me, if not today, this week. I got to taste that sandwich. My brain is boggled about it, so I got to deboggle. Yeah, with fries.
With the fries.
Oh, naturally. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It has to get the Chester stamp of approval.
Yes, of course.
So-
That'd be absolutely awesome because, it's one thing to talk food, but then it's something else to taste it.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Absolutely. So we appreciate you coming on to tell us about the Preacher's Kid Restaurant. So everybody need to come down and experience it.
Yeah.
Because you've heard the name, but maybe you haven't had his cooking.
Yes, exactly. And I'm here a lot. So if I'm here, you'll definitely see me and I'll take good care of you.
Excellent.
Very
Excellent.
nice.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's our pleasure. We're going to go to a quick break and Morning Blend will continue on the other side.
You don't have to travel far. All them rake and scrape boys will excite you. On weekends they play at the neighbor's bar.
Elaine, you hear what Boss Man was saying in the back there just now?
About what? The luncheon?
Why you always worried about food? No, about how we gotta pay a little more for national insurance.
Mildred, you talking food. I can't afford to pay that.
And you always crying, poor mouth. Ain't gonna be much. Boss still gotta pay. 1st of July, 2020.
I think that criminal benefit is what did help my boy Tony through the pandemic. That same unemployment benefit. And guess what?
What?
Susan, I think she'd get a pregnancy benefit, eh?
You mean maternity benefit, eh? So now, we gotta do our part to make sure we get our pension. All right.
For more information, visit niprateIncrease.com.
Are you a business owner or HR professional? RF's team of pension specialists are here to empower your employees with market-leading retirement solutions and to make implementing group pensions easy and cost-effective. With RF, starting or switching your company pension plan is a breeze, and there are no setup fees. If you're looking for strong investment performance and low fees, visit rfgroup.com/empower and empower your team to retire comfortably with RF Group pensions today. That's rfgroup.com/empower.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology: Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Are you ready for the best of the best? Keep the Vibe Alive Music Group, Alpha Sound Promotion, and Guardian Radio presents the best of the best Rake and Script Explosion Concert. Mark your calendars for May 11th as Super Club Breezes grounds ignite with Bahamian talent featuring KB, Gino D, Funky Lucky D, Veronica Bishop, The Brylanders, Avi, Elon Moxie, and Shine 242.
Right now I feel like whining.
Join the Falcons, Iron Store, Sylvie Pierre, Johnny Cake, Mama D, Nishi LS, Pat Rami, Stevie S, and Shad Colley and the VIPs for an electrifying night of music and culture. Tickets are flying, so grab yours now. Available online at BahamasEtickets.com or swing by the Beauty Shack on Soldier Road and Carmichael Road. This is the event of the year. The best of the best rake and scrape explosion at Breezes Resorts. Gates open at 6 p.m. Don't miss out on the Bahamian magic.
Make Mother's Day one to remember with a delightful Mother's Day brunch valued at $300 courtesy of Haagen-Dazs and Fun Foods Wholesale. It's simple. Just head over to Lickety Split or Super Value locations and purchase a pint of your favorite Haagen-Dazs ice cream for just $8.99. After purchasing, don't forget to write your full name and number on the back of your receipt and drop it into any entry box at the store. You're now in the running for our grand prize drawing, taking place on May 10th. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Happy Mother's Day from Haagen-Dazs. Promotion ends May 8th.
Mothers are the heart of our homes, the soul of our memories, and the guiding light through life's journeys. Show your love with a gift from Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale Friday, May 3rd through Saturday, May 11th. Enjoy 20% off selected dinnerware, glassware, luggage, silk flowers, and picture frames, except on net items. One lucky person can win a gift basket for Mother's Day. Visit our Facebook page for more information. Kelly's House and Home's Mother's Day sale, May 3rd through 11th. Happy Mother's Day, all with love from Kelly's House and Home.
Welcome back to Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards along with Deandra Cartwright. And let's get to some of these text messages before we get to Morning Blend business. This person said, we were talking about the F&M convention, the upcoming F&M convention. This week is nomination week. So this person says, the one-day convention is good. Clear the air. Minnis will kill the F&M if he returns. He was a 5-year embarrassment. Okay. This person says the caller saying people should vote even if the leader of the party is not the one you want is ignorant. The leader of the party makes the rules in government. What he is suffering from is the illusion of choice. Well, we all suffering here. Morning, Chester, we should have a set date for our elections like the USA. You go wait for that. I really wonder where Bahamians is be when things are happening. The Oban forgery in the Prime Minister's office in front of Hubert Minnis, where Krieger signed Satpal Donna's name on a contract, happened February 2018. 6 months into the administration, I recall personally saying something ain't right, and it became clear that Minnis was trying to frame himself in the shadow of Trump as the new unconventional leader, and it was a disaster. This was before Dorian and before COVID. What COVID did was amplify Minnis's dictatorial tendencies. Okay. This person says, good morning, I can't listen to... Oh, we don't need to read that. Morning, we are a crazy bunch of people, truly. Only God got us going. They say that God protects the crazy. We got to be out of our minds to think that any of these two parties is the answer. Okay. This person says, wasn't C. Allen campaigning for the PLP a few years ago? Okay. I would vote for Minnis. I believe people forgot the unprecedented circumstances that impacted his tenure from the beginning. And I remember correctly, the PLP lost in a landslide to the F&M when Minnis won. Okay. This person says, I have not voted PLP or F&M for almost 25 years. However, I voted every election except one, which happened while I was hospitalized. It's my rights constitutionally to vote, and that I will do rain or shine. Getting angry and not voting makes no sense. We will never know what a new party can do unless we give them a chance. And not just a new party, as a new leader of that party, right? Mm-hmm. I don't understand Ryan Pinder. No one cares what the government's intent is, but the fact is that the proposed act removes IRCA's tariff oversight of BPL. for a term set out in the new act. By the way, what is the mechanism for returning the oversight once the period ends? Interesting question.
Right.
Wow, that's a lot. Great show as usual. Question: what makes Mr. What? I don't understand. Great show as usual. Can you tell your guest? Tell people who put raisins in the coleslaw they can't cook and they ain't safe. Tell your guests, people who use parboiled rice, this is clearly just a bunch of jokes, can't cook. And people who put mayonnaise in conch salad, tell them they ain't safe and they're not Bahamian.
So you try to tell the Grand Bahamians, and I think that's the Abaconians who's put the mayonnaise in the conch salad, the damn Bahamian?
That's what he's trying to say.
Oh, Lord.
Great show as usual. Tell your guests, because of PM Minutes lockdown, I have become a master chef. They said chief.
Oh.
A master chief at curry chicken, and I challenge him to a curry chicken cookout. Well, if Chef Simeon Hall is still listening, this texter wants to have a curry chicken cookout.
Okay.
Against you. Great show as usual. Ask your guest if he used fresh conch for his cracked conch or frozen conch because different flavor. All right. Well, he's you go ask him. He says he's typically down there at the cruise port since the person was asking, and this is the text I opened. What is his name? What is name and location of Simeon Hall's restaurant? It's called The Preacher's Kid, and it is at the Nassau Cruise Port. And I did say his name before he left a few times, actually. I believe Pintard did what he did because he sees Minutes gaining support. The one-day convention is a slap in the face of Bahamians from an official party.
What?
Bahamians? Or
Well, I guess, they say they're the official opposition, so it signifies a healthy democracy. But what's the difference between a 1 day and 2 day? What is the business of the party?
Exactly.
Are you a party member? Should the entire country be looking into the party politics?
That's the question, right? Should the entire country care about our party's politics?
Technically, kind of, sort of, but unless you're actually going to be a part of it.
Well, that deeply, and again, like you mentioned, part of it if you're just a regular
and you
Joe
have to
Blow.
be a card-carrying member.
Exactly.
Like I don't think people actually realize that you have to have membership. Registered in order to have a voice within the party, and it goes by. Let's have a master class on party politics. We can have different people talking about the different aspects of it. No.
Oh, I can read your text. This person's like, why didn't you read my text? Okay. Well, okay. Let's start from the beginning. I didn't want to read this part, so I just didn't want to. I moved on. Good morning, Chester. Good morning. I can't listen to C. Allen anymore. He does not want change. He's another old guard that wants us to continue down on a downward spiral at any cost. I think these men are more obsessed with their ego than saving their country. Don't type so fast. You're making some mistakes. C. Allen isn't all guard. Okay. Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, C. Allen does make some good points a lot of times, so let's not knock him. This person says, well, I may not be a member, but friends who are not happy and quietly going to revolt through voting. Well, there you go.
Well, that's what happens not only in the party, but it happens as a country.
Yeah, tell your friends if you're F&M, whoever got a card to carry.
Listen, you better have that card.
How you feel?
Listen, you have to have the card. You'd say something.
Do you have to pay
friends.
For membership, party membership?
That part I don't know, but I know that I had a friend. They were trying to get membership in both parties. and
can you do that?
No, so that's actually a question, I think, from what I understand from their experience on the form. Are you a member of another political? So you can't. You
can't.
Allegedly.
Just like you can only vote for one thing.
Hey, I guess so. So they say you can't be involved with all of them. But I mean, clearly you have some people who be going switching sides all so.
Boy, well, if you got to pay, I don't know if I could become a card carrying.
Can somebody text us, the persons who are card carrying from the PLP and the F&M, do you have to pay for membership? I'm assuming that
I can't have Netflix, Disney Plus, and some other things, and F&M.
Well, see.
Or PLP.
But just like with Netflix and Disney,
Some have to go.
right? It's the flavor. So it's like, what are you into?
Some
like,
have
what
to
are
go.
your politics?
Yeah. What? Chester, how do you feel about illegals having voters cards and voting in our next election? Say what now?
Y'all inciting. Stop it.
How do you
Stop it.
How do you put those two things, illegal and having a voter's card? That doesn't even make sense.
I think, what do they call it? The politically correct way to refer to that is irregular migrants.
Oh, is that what they're trying to say? Okay. Glad we're going to Morning Blend Business to talk about occupational health and safety with the ILO, members of the ILO. Oh, wait. Okay, I'm not reading that. All right, let's go to a break and then we go to Morning Blend Business. We'll be right back.
Here we go. Where folks are happy to and fro. 190 feet high, about 2 miles wide, 110 miles long. Here's a song. Oh, stands for freedom. Oh yeah. Land of fun. Oh yeah. Oh how beautiful. Pleases everyone.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Okay. Welcome to Morning Blend Business on a Freaky Monday.
Clearly.
Okay, glad we could make light of the situation. We are talking to First Caribbean International Bank, CIBC First Caribbean. It's all newly branded stuff here. So
CIBC Caribbean.
CIBC Caribbean. And with us is English manager. We have Natasha Clark, manager, and Sharice Archer, who's a senior branch manager at Harbor Bay. And Inspired Home Mortgage. That's what we're talking about today, right now. And it has a beautiful name there.
Most people be inspired today, Chester.
Yeah. I don't know if everybody names their mortgage campaigns, but this one is Inspired. So tell us about the Inspired Mortgage.
All right. So good morning. Good morning again. And good morning to our listening audience. So we're super happy to be here from CIBC Caribbean to talk about our Inspired. And yes, it's dubbed Inspired because we want to inspire people for home ownership. Whether you're in the market to purchase, whether you're in the market to build, we are here for you. So, and even if you're in the market to switch from another institution for better, I guess, deals, we are here. So the mortgage campaign is really geared towards that of home ownership. So if it is that you want to purchase residential up to a triplex, that's what we're here for. If you want to switch from that, from another institution, we also have great benefits. My team talk about the benefits as well as super build. We have actually listened and studied the market on mortgages, and I can say, and you will hear it over and over this morning, that we are the leader in mortgage financing. So we have built this offering, and it expires at the end of July 31st. Super excited about it. We do have extended terms up to 35 years. And what does that really mean? It means super affordable payments. So the longer the facility is, the more affordable the payments can be. So we have really understood what our people are looking for. So I'm going to let Ms. Archer kind of tell you about what the Inspired Mortgage Campaign offers in detail.
Yeah.
Good morning again, listening audience. We are overjoyed and elated to be here to talk about our Inspired campaign. Now, as Inga said, when we looked in the market, this is one of many campaigns that we do year after year. And we are super excited, as she said, about this campaign because what it gives to you. The campaign allows you, if you want to build a home, if you have equity in your property, you can come to us. We do up to 95% financing. What that means is you only have to come up with 5%, and you'd have to cover some of your legal and closing costs. And another aspect of the campaign is the switch part of it, where you can switch your mortgage from another bank. Again, there are a lot of wonderful things that are part of the campaign. You can get, in terms of the switch, up to $10,000 back once you switch your mortgage with us. We are the leading financial institute in mortgage lending, and we also understood that purchasing a home is one of the most major events that can happen in your life. So we took all of this into consideration when we looked at this Inspire Mortgage campaign.
Okay. You can swing the mic over. Yeah.
Good morning. Okay. Come in. Speak with one of our sales specialists at any one of our branches. Let us hold your hand. Tell you what, before you go there and actually look for something. Because, we have persons who go there, look for the $1 million homes. Mm-hmm. But really, they can get $300,000.
Right.
So we want to pre-qualify you so you can know exactly what it is that you qualify for. So come in and speak with any one of our officers at any of our branches. We have 11 branches in the Bahamas. We have Shirley Street, Harbor Bay, JFK, Sandy Port, Carmichael, Marathon Mall, Bay Street, even the Family Islands, Grand Bahama, Governor's Harbor, and Marsh Harbor. And we also have a branch at Bahama who can cater to those staff members who work shifts. Okay. So come in and get pre-qualified to know exactly what we can help you with.
Well, I'm hearing this pre-qualified thing. What does that mean exactly for our listening audience?
Okay, what it is bring your job letter, bring your expenses, your monthly expenses, whether it's a credit card, you may have an existing loan, an existing mortgage, even a car loan at Easy Car Insurance Company. Bring all of bring all of your printouts. Let us see exactly what it is that you qualify for from your salary compared to your debts.
So that would also include, like, you have to have a job letter to indicate how much income you have. What about supplementary income from those with second businesses or maybe part-time jobs or even a hobby that creates money?
Okay, we look at those on a case-by-case basis. Okay. Nothing is carved in black and white, but come in and let us determine what exactly it is that you can qualify for.
Okay, wonderful. So after the pre-qualification and you all say how much a person is qualified for, what are the next steps? What do they look like? And what's the time frame looking on that, especially with this Inspired Home Mortgage campaign? I'm looking for the inspiration, and I'm hearing it, so this is great.
So now the next step really is up to you, the client, to go to see what based on what you qualify for. If you find a home, my suggestion would be that you look for a realtor to assist you in the process. Once you find the home and you come back to us, then we start the application process. Once the application process is finished, then once you're approved, then it has to go to the attorney to do the vet, the legal documentation. Once that is done, then it comes back to us. Now, we can't set a specific timeline on how that will happen. It's based on the information regarding the documents, the mortgage documents. It may take longer, it may take shorter. But we advise the clients every step of the way.
I guess if I can add to that, we are a one-stop shop. So we kind of help you through the process from the beginning to the very end. So after you're assessed, and it's not just for purchases, it's for construction. So if for some instance you have a property already and you've partially paid it off, or it's free from any bank lien, then you can build on that. So you just get the contractor's quotation based on your plans and those kinds of things. So mortgage is not just for a straight out purchase. You may be in the market may have your property already, and you can use the value that you've built up into that vacant land. So there's no down payment requirement. So what we tend to do during our qualification, we assess your financial position holistically, and we give you suggestions as to what's best for you, right? And it's evidently your choice at the end of the day which route you want to take, whether you want to purchase, whether you want to construct, or you're going to switch. All right, but we look at your overall picture, and in instances where we can conduct a consolidation that will allow you to qualify for more, that's exactly what we do. We counsel you financially.
Okay. You mentioned if you have property already, getting a construction loan. What if you're still paying on that property? How does that process work?
And that's a very important question, a point to bring. Most times, persons are of the view that you must pay that property off fully. That's not true. You can actually use that property. So we look at the balance, what we call the existing liability, and then we look at what the value is, and then what then would be your down payment for the overall, I guess, project that you want to go in. And in most cases, the value is sufficient to cover your injection. So what we end up doing for you is 100% financing. Okay? But there's something sweeter to the offering of the Inspired Home campaign at CIBC Caribbean. We understand that homeowners insurance is perhaps one of the premiums are really, really high nowadays, and that's worldwide.
Yeah.
And so, again, we've studied the market. We understand what the consumers would want and what would be best. So we also give everyone within this campaign $1,500 towards their first homeowners insurance.
Oh, wow.
That is exciting. So could you imagine, we're switching you from another institution. You're getting up to $10,000 to switch, which you can use then for either your legal fees to switch. You then get that $1,500, which is helping you towards your homeowners. You then get half off of the application fee. So you can see the deal gets sweeter under the Inspired campaign, right? And then to top it off, what then, I guess, controls your monthly payment is that low interest. So you got to come into the branches for us to really look at it and give you a holistic review.
Yeah, and give the rate right now.
We will.
Of course, a text. Of course, one of the first text messages. Okay, what's their rate?
Very low, unheard of. I'll tell you, if anybody knows the benefit for a staff member of a bank is rates and fees. You're getting what staff gets. So I'll leave it right there. Right?
Powerful.
I think some ears perked up just now.
Yes, of course.
So I guess you mentioned 35 years, which is amazing, but you can't be old as me for that, clearly.
Well, we look at retirement age, and it all depends on your employer. And we know some of the professionals, there is no such thing as retirement age. So you can go up to 70 and above. So we look at all those things. So we take the application on its own merit. So it's not just, we don't look at everybody with a wide brush. We look at each individual application on its own merit, and we assess accordingly. And so we want to make sure that people understand we are here. We are your financial advisors. We look at your whole, all right? You don't have to be in a perfect scenario, financial position. We create it for you based on your finances. We would then structure your deal based on your position.
Right. Deandra asked an interesting question, and I know a story of two business owners they're entrepreneurs, and they found it very difficult. They say they clear six figures a year, but still found it very difficult to get approved for a loan at a bank. What advice do you give to people who have their own business?
Okay, it's very important in terms of business owners to keep records. When any assessment is being done, and this is at any bank, we're reviewing the records that are kept. So it's important that they have a business account and that all funds are filtered through the business account. And they can do what we call mini profit and loss statements. Nothing really difficult.
Right.
There are some programs that we can shoot to them to give them some guidance as it relates to, we call it again a mini profit and loss statement that they can do to see just how the business is doing. Now, you can make six figures, but you can also spend six figures. And so it is important for you as a business owner to have an idea of what business is doing.
Yeah. And I had another question, just about, I lost it. So how do we get more information? How can people contact you all to get more information about this? And you said it's on for 3 months. So
July
this
31st,
week,
2024.
Right.
But the facility has to be dispersed by November 31st,
Okay.
2024. Now, Natasha had indicated we have 11 branches, 8 in Nassau. They can contact any of our branches, or they can actually just come in. We can have a discussion.
I have a question because when we're talking about branches, and I just bragged about this to somebody yesterday, I have to bring in the Family Island perspective. What about those persons on a Family Island that there may not be a branch present, such as Long Island? We have no banks. So if I wanted to get a mortgage, but I'm resident on an island without a bank, how can I be in contact? How can this work? I know we're living in a virtual world these days, so I'm hoping that it is possible, but tell us how.
Well, that's something we can look at. Again, each case is weighed on its own merit and look for ways in which we can help. So we don't count out those either.
Okay, great.
While we don't have a presence, we still look at all applications and give it consideration.
Wonderful.
Okay.
So the time frame, if somebody starts this process, I know sometimes finding a home, getting through all of the legal stuff, and then getting to the point where the bank can issue funds could take a long time. What if somebody starts that process in June and with you? Are they still
That's
qualified
absolutely
for
fine.
Most
Yeah.
definitely.
So the campaign actually started April 2nd.
Oh, okay.
And it's running to the 31st to be approved.
Yeah, to be approved. Okay.
To be drawn is basically at the end of the year, November.
yeah.
All right. So it gives you time for the legal work and
Yeah.
all those things. And sometimes, you encounter some,
Yeah.
obstacles during legal work, and that's why it's extended to November.
Okay.
All right. So we have that
We got
covered.
time,
Again,
yeah.
we studied, CIBC
Yeah.
Caribbean has studied the market. We understand the setbacks, what could possibly happen. Gathering those appraisal reports, your printouts, your job, we kind of understand it very well, and that's why we're the leader in mortgage financing.
Right.
But you know what? Think more about this inspired home offering. There are other perks to it that I must mention. So each application will have a pre-approved Visa credit card, and it comes with 5,000 bonus points. And we all know about bonus points, what they can do for you, right? We also have what we call a revolving easy cover loan. And that is, again, we understand it's very difficult annually for individuals to either pay their homeowners or the real property tax. So we have built in a consumer facility that can be revolved every 11 months. So on the 12th month, you pay your insurance. You don't have to worry about it. You pay us back monthly for that. So there's no need for you to have to come up with thousands of dollars to cover that premium. We will finance it for you without an application process being required after you approve for the mortgage. It's for the life of that mortgage. We have that revolving loan for you. So again, we understand what our consumers want. We've studied the mortgage market and we've mastered it.
Okay. The credit card, though.
You don't have to accept it. No, you don't have to accept it. But if you want it, that's good.
It's an option.
And then there's a home benefits card. And I keep thinking the deal gets sweeter under this
Home
Inspired.
benefits card.
There's a home benefits card. And every mortgage applicant that falls under the Inspired Home offering gets a home benefit card. That actually is a card that you can take to the various merchants that signed up and get discounts. So if you're in the market to purchase furniture or just supplies for the home during construction, you actually get discounts. Sounds good. CIBC Caribbean has really done it, eh?
Yes, yes. Delectable offers here coming from the bank. This person asked if you do the switch mortgage loan, is the 10,000 given in a switch attached to the mortgage?
That's a gift. And I'll let Ms.
It's a
Archer speak
gift.
more about that.
Okay, now it's up to $10,000. So, based on the amount of your mortgage, it'll be up to $10,000. It's a gift. Nothing is attached. There's nothing attached to it. If you're switching your mortgage with us and you qualify and the mortgage has been approved and it's ready to disperse, you get your monies.
Right.
It's not attached to the mortgage at all.
Yeah.
It's attached to the bank's pocket.
Okay. Yeah. Well, fair enough. People love to hear that. I think you guys are talking about self-employed people. They said they're excellent at paying off loans. Well, there's a body to tell the bank if you are excellent or not. You mentioned bringing in certain documents, but you also have the credit bureau.
Yes.
You use that obviously.
Every bank in the Bahamas utilize a credit bureau report. So as a part of the the loan process, you'd have to provide the consent form for us to do the credit. That is policy.
Right. Yep.
And what exactly are you looking for on that credit report?
I think it's really to ensure that we're not having individuals overextend themselves beyond their ability to repay.
Yeah.
And to see again, and it gives us opportunities at times to consider consolidations that put them in a better financial position. So, it could be it's usually beneficial for the client and for the bank holistically.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's a snapshot in time of your financial position.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. So the time to start is now, I imagine.
Right now.
Right now.
It's very important. I think home ownership is, the biggest investment for most. And I think if we have properties and the costs for properties have gone up. So if you're putting it off today, that may not be the wisest choice for you. And do not feel afraid to come in and be pre-qualified. We either can do it or we can't. And if we can't do what you're looking for, we then guide you as to what are your next steps. What should you do? We're here to counsel. And so we just want to encourage persons to come in. Our branches are spread across the Family Islands, as Ms. Clark would have said there, and 8 branches here in New Providence, Freeport, Abercrombie, Louthra. And for those who are in other islands and want us to have a discussion on their proposal, we welcome those as well. All right, but we want to make sure at CIBC Caribbean that you are actually looking at what's best for you now and future.
Yeah.
All right. Triplexes. I didn't hear a question on triplexes.
That's true.
Triplexes is really, it's highly sought after. Duplexes, income producing ventures, and they're all considered under the residential offering if you're living in one.
Right.
So we can do up to 95% financing. So I just want to put that out there because most persons are of the view that's an investment facility. We can finance that up to 95% if you're going to reside in one of them.
Right.
All right, up to 35 years. So again, the mortgage offering at CIBC Caribbean is the best, as you could have heard, right?
Well, it'd be hard to argue with that after this campaign. Excellent. Anything else going on at CIBC we need to know about before you go?
A lot of things are going on at
I'm
CIBC for First Caribbean. So we are actually looking at ways to improve how we service our clients and the public at large. And you'd have heard a lot about our electronic improvements.
Yeah.
And again, not to be biased, but I know our online platform is the best. It's user-friendly. So we're always looking at ways to improve how we service our clients. We have the smart ABMs where you can make a deposit today and it's instant. You make a transfer to your Visa and it's instant for you to use. The benefits of the credit card, we just launched we collabed with JetBlue.
Yeah.
And so we have a JetBlue card, we have a MasterCard Black, and there are many features. And again, the biggest thing around using your credit card as opposed to cash is that you get points. Points then become dollars and cents, and you get to spend. So you have to be very smart with your spend. So as you can see, and you will continue to see more improvements around how we conduct our business. How do we make conducting business at CIBC Caribbean better? Just kind of like understanding our clients' needs and improving day after day.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you.
You brought a bit of good news to us today, so we appreciate that. Inga Johnson, Natasha Clark, Sharice Archer, thank you so much. And everybody, you heard what they said. You better get out there and come talk to them.
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Be inspired.
Be inspired. Absolutely. I was inspired today.
Excellent. Thank you.
So we're going to go to a quick break, and Morning Blend Business will return right after.
For food, rent, and clothing for your backside is grass. Money coming. Hey. Money coming. Stay in the building. Money coming. Money coming.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Get ready! On May 4th and 5th, athletes from around the world will compete to secure their spot in the Paris Olympics. Come, witness history as our Bahamian athletes run against the world and chase the sun. From paradise to Paris at the BTC World Athletic Relays here in Nassau, Bahamas at the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium. Get your tickets now at worldrelaysbahamas24.org or at the Andre Rogers Baseball Stadium box office or at BTC Moreland Marathon or BTC Southwest Plaza. BTC World Relays. Be there.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
BWF wishes all mothers a happy Mother's Day. As we celebrate you, mothers wear many hats. For these hats, we say thank you for your unconditional love, commitment, sacrifices, and dedication. Happy your mother with love this Mother's Day with a gift from BWF during our 2 weeks of Mother's Day savings. Up to 40% off Monday, April 29th through Saturday, May 11th. Savings include appliances, kitchen and outdoor cooking supplies, houseware supplies, bath towel gift sets, quilts, comforters and sheet sets, curtains, floral decor, and much, much more. Open Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturday, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. BWF, we are more than just our name. Number 13 Wilton Street, telephone 394-0004 or 6. Check us out on Facebook. We ship to the Family Islands.
He beg and plead. She say no. He fall on his knees. She say no. I can bring you lobster. Indeed. Some coopers and jacks. He wife say no. I come in no early. She say no. I come in right back. She say no. Stinking. He wife say no. She say no. She say no. Right straight. He wife say no. She say no. She say no. Sammy like go Christian whenever he can. Anywhere he go with goalie, he's the bonefish man. They get plenty of snappers, barracudas and jacks. Then they sit on a rump and fry them, kick back and relax. So Sammy say, let's go tomorrow. Goalie say, you sure? Harry asks if you ask your wife, he say, don't say it no more. They sing, Sammy can't go. Indeed, every time he asks, wife say no more. He beg and plead. She say no. He fall on his knees. She say no. I can bring you lobster. Indeed, some snappers and jacks. Wife say I come in right back. She say no.
Good morning and welcome back to Morning Blend Business here on Guardian Radio 96.9. I'm Chester Robards along with Deandra Cartwright and happy to have with us in studio the good people from the Department of Labor. And we have Mr. Kenneth Wilkinson, Assistant Director of Labor, Sharon Moss, Senior Safety Officer, and Denisha Mortimer, Head of Communications. And we're talking about the ILO World Day of Safety and Health at Work, OSHA Day. And that is today?
Yes, sir.
Today. Excellent on this good Monday. I hope we don't have any infractions in here.
We have the right people in the studio to let us know.
So I can spank you all
Yeah, but we're happy to have you here to talk about it. It's a pet peeve of mine, to be honest, because I see lots of crazy things going on around the country all the time. Yeah. But so what is this about? Tell us about OSHA Day of Safety.
She's the coordinator.
Okay.
I just in the background.
All right.
They work
Get closer to the mic for us.
They basically work under me, but
right.
I give her all
the power over there.
Yeah, to
There
do
you
it,
go.
and I just go along with what she says.
That's what I'm talking
She was
about.
the one really to organize everything, so she is the brain behind all of it. I
Right.
just give her my moral support.
Okay, good. Tell us about it.
So, good morning again. So, today we'll be here to talk about World Day for Safety and Health at Work, where we join in with the International Labour Organization. Every year, this is something they do where they go ahead and recognize World Day for Safety. And the theme this year is Ensuring Safety and Health at Work in a Changing Climate. So, not only we want to talk about Safety Day, we want to bring some awareness to the general public as to what we also do at the Department of Labor in the Occupational Safety and Health Unit. So our unit is responsible for general industry, construction industry. We also responsible for occupational safety and health inspection, notification of vacancy investigation. So if we out on the road and we see construction workers up on a scaffold and they're not properly strapped down with their harness, then we stop and let them know, hey, the responsibility they have as an employee, and also let the employer know their responsibility is to ensure every worker on the site is kept safe.
Right.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad you brought that up because Deandra and I will have a nice conversation about a site that we saw. There was a picture that was being passed around.
Viral a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
I think out of one of the larger buildings down in the downtown area where scaffolding apparently wasn't being used, but a series of ladders. Was there ropes involved? I think I can't recall.
There was
but
some erection of something that wasn't. It didn't seem right. But
it
anyway,
didn't seem right, and we're like, "Where's OSHA? There's a violation. What's going on?"
Yeah, plenty of violation because we always we would like to put this plea out to the public that anytime they see something of that sort,
okay,
please feel free to give us a call at the Department of Labor, and we will get on that right away because, in all honesty, we have to protect the public from the workers from themselves.
Yeah.
You know, these guys, what the public doesn't realize and what the guys doesn't realize is that they are the breadwinners. If something goes wrong with one of them, the whole family suffers.
Mm-hmm.
So this is something that we have to take very serious and we have to take into consideration in order to protect them, not just protect them, but to protect the family.
Right.
So it's very important that if anybody come out, like I say, and see these infractions going on, please feel free to call us.
What do employers have a duty to do with them? So in a case where you're being sent up on a multi-story building on the roof, there are certain things that each company should have for those people. Is it like a legal thing, or is it just?
Yes, it's mandatory for the employer to make sure that that their employees have the proper PPEs, which is the personal protective equipment.
Right.
You know, they're supposed to supply them with the harness, the hard hats, the
Right,
vests,
right.
the goggles, the earplugs, and we always try. See, one of the things that we find very, very scary is that most of the sites we go on, you would see a guy or a doctor, and he's on a cell phone. That is the most dangerous thing you could ever do.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, and you're not concentrating on what you're doing.
Right.
So you're putting everybody on that side at risk.
Yeah.
So we, I had to do that. We saw that several times where we had to actually have that operator removed from the site because I wasn't going to put the rest of those guys in. So it's very important for these guys to have these PPEs in place, and it's the employer's responsibility to make sure that the employees are equipped with these PPEs.
Yeah.
And that's by law. So there are fines or something that can be imposed, applied against folks who are not.
We don't enforce it. See, that's the problem, and that's one of the things we've been fighting for years. To put these fines in place and make sure we fine these employees, because trust me, if you fine one, trust me, the rest of them will fall in line. I've seen it.
Yeah. And also here too, according to the Health and Safety at Work Act, Section 4, it says it shall be the duty of every employer to ensure the health and safety of all of their workers. So the responsibility also.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you started with saying the employee also obviously has a duty of care for his own protection. But by law, I take it he could refuse to do a certain job if he doesn't have the right equipment.
Well, if he refused, then they should get him off the site. If he refused to get him off the site, because, like, take for instance,
not refuse to use the equipment.
He could refuse if he doesn't have the necessary equipment to protect himself.
Right.
If the employer does not provide him with the necessary equipment, because it is the employer responsibility to provide those safety equipment for the employee to wear.
Right.
But then my question thereafter would be, if the business is not providing the PPE for the employee to utilize, that employee stands up for themselves because they care about their safety, and as you say, they have to provide for their family. What protections are there against any repercussions to say, well, if everybody else is working without it and you choose not to, then you don't need this job? So what recourse may be available?
Well, the employee has a right to come to the department and lodge a complaint us to say, hey, this is what's going on this particular site. We go there and speak with the employer. For instance, a few years ago, we had a situation on a site where the employees didn't have on the necessary equipment. So what we had to do was take them off of the site. The employer obviously had an issue with it, but like we explained to him, it is his responsibility to go ahead and ensure that these guys have the necessary equipment to go ahead and do their job. Yes, we did remove them off of the site. The employer, like we explained to him, we're not allowing them to go back onto the site until you provide them with the necessary equipment, and he agreed with us.
This sounds like it sounds like a dream going on right here, because there are so many different violations that we can assume as members of the public happening. And you say contact. Is there a hotline? Like, how do we truly make that call?
So you can go ahead and contact us at the Department of Labor on 302-2550 or 302-2562. And you can ask for anybody in the OSHA unit.
And what if I get that photo, like how we got those photos by WhatsApp about that violation happening downtown or whatnot? Is there any way to email those things into so you actually have the evidence of it?
We can give you, Mr. Wilkerson and I can provide you with our direct contact. You could WhatsApp it to us and we'll go ahead and do the investigation.
Sometimes a lot of them are sent to the majority of times, a majority of them are sent to the minister. To ministers,
right?
Or even to the office of the prime minister, and once that comes in, that is sent directly to the director of labor, and then the director of labor will then contact myself or Ms. Morse, and we would get on it expeditiously.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Is there an occupational health and safety problem that we have in the country that's more pervasive than other things that you find a lot of people complain about or talk about?
Yes. For instance, we have a lot of poorly ventilated places as it relates to
that's interesting
health and safety, where you have a lot of air-conditioned units not functioning the way it ought to, or you have persons working in unhealthy conditions. For instance, just the other day, we had an issue with a gas leak, and the employer was insisting that persons perform in that environment, and we had to let him know, no, that is a health and safety hazard. You cannot allow these persons to work under those conditions. So until you get it sorted out, you have to allow them to not be inside there.
Wow.
Yes.
That's powerful.
We also had an incident where we had I'm not going to call any business's name,
right?
But where they were doing some renovations, and I mean, and dust and stuff was just flying around, but they still wanted the people to work and serve food, and we would call in, and we had to close it down.
That's oh my goodness.
we had to close it down.
It reminds me of a business I patronized a couple of weeks ago. They had so much product in the business, but they weren't keeping up with cleaning up the dust and whatnot, and that actually triggered a dust allergy attack when I went on the outside. And I'm like, my gosh, I can't even. Like, who do I talk to about this? Outside of the business, though, I find
once
as
we get
Bahamians, we
those
don't
calls,
talk to.
once we get those calls, we get on that right away. We don't waste any time. We get on those right away.
So if people don't know who to call, the best place to start maybe when you see those kinds of things is the OSHA office.
The Department of Labor. Yeah, we read on Rosetta Street.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And it's crazy to me that some of these people fight you guys over these things. I mean,
definitely.
It's a health risk to their employees, and they want to keep their places open and keep people working.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah,
very much so.
Very much insane and unsafe.
Absolutely.
I wonder, maybe, I don't know if you have the numbers of this, but I'm just curious, like, how many violations per year have you, or what's the most violations in any particular year would you say y'all may have had?
About in a year, a little over 100 or more.
Wow.
Yeah.
And is it collated by island? Like, is OSHA present with violations on family islands?
Yeah, well, it is. But you know how the family island go.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I was in Exuma, and when I went down there and I started doing inspections on construction sites, they had a problem with me telling them that they had to use the hard hats and the steel toes and the vests and stuff like that, and the harness. And then they felt like, oh, we've been doing this for years. I say, yeah, you've been getting away with it for years, but now this has to cease.
Yeah.
Well, I can imagine how that is literally a hazard, despite having done it for so many years and by the grace of God surviving for so many years. The thing is that on certain islands, such as Exumia and Eleuthera, to name a few, there are construction booms going on, and unfortunately that also increases the possibility of accidents to occur.
Well, we're going to be making some spot checks in all of these islands now, with the assistance of our new director, Mr. Howard Thompson Jr., who I think is doing a magnificent job since his inception here at the Labor Department in November of last year.
Great.
And then we have a great PS in Miss Gina Thompson. And then I wouldn't even talk about our minister, Pia Glover Roll. I mean, she is a worker. She's on the JOB. I mean, and she came in and she hit the ground running. So we have a lot of support from our minister, our PS, and our director. So we're going to be doing some great things here at the Department of Labor, and we're looking forward to it.
We have a text message that came in asking if you all have any space for part-time safety officers. This person said they're coming from an engineering, dangerous situations every day, and it doesn't seem that it's being addressed by anyone. They said they wouldn't mind taking such a position.
Well, we always have space, but they have to go. It's not when you want to get something into government, you'd have to go through public service.
Right.
So what I would recommend is that they go at public service there on Meeting Street and get a application and then fill it out and have
But
it
what
there for
about
them.
a volunteer effort of some sort? I know, like, if they're the pothole initiative that they have, you can call a number, something like a reporting initiative that could occur.
Ministry
So
of
a
Works.
person
Ministry
sees,
of Works.
right?
Yeah,
So similarly, if there's an OSHA violation that somebody sees, maybe there can be a WhatsApp or a dedicated phone line or something like that,
Yes.
because it's always happening, and we laugh about it as being like when that photo went viral. People were laughing, but it was a photo with persons literally on the roof with about, I think, 4 ladders. This is a 2-story building. I'm trying to figure out how did they get up there, and where's the scaffolding?
If we had seen and they had called us, we would have closed our site down immediately. We'd have gone there and closed the site down immediately.
So on this morning too, we just want to take this opportunity to event that you passing by and you see these things, because hey, the only way we can correct it is if you guys contact the department and let us know, hey, this is what's going on, XYZ, and we'll get our team together and send our team of inspectors out to deal with it.
So you do have a team of inspectors.
Yes,
are
sir,
they
in
are
the
they
OSHA unit.
stationed on sites, or they just move around?
No,
We
just
move around.
Okay. There's no like dedicated inspector for certain
No,
jobs.
most sites
like-
should have a health and safety inspector on site.
On site, okay.
Yes.
That they hire.
Yeah, that they hire.
Right. Okay. And do they have to report to you guys?
No,
Is that
they
how
don't
that
have to
works?
report
Oh.
to us. But if like I said, we go there and we see infractions, we speak with them and let them know. Say, look, you know what the rules are. So we try our best to collaborate with them and let them know that as you being the health and safety inspector on the site, you will be held responsible for anything that
That's
transpires.
Good to know. That's good to know. It's good information. I know usually these days come with themes and stuff. Is there a particular theme for this year?
Yes, sir. So this year, the ILO theme for this year is ensuring safety and health at work in changing climate. Yes, sir.
Okay, so
With OSHA this year. Yes. So.
And it's also the manipulation of the environment itself because of climate change, because what may have worked 20 years ago with the increase of, it's been so windy recently.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that things are up to standard, that persons are working in safe environments with the wind, the increase of rainfall, all of these different things going on. So I like that theme because we don't really think about the
We
evolution.
don't come into OSHA because we can show you some.
Definitely.
Is there an OSHA kind of guideline on heat indexes?
Not on heat.
Not on heat.
No, sir.
Oh.
Because then that's another thing. You have folks that are working in literally 100-degree weather.
Interesting.
Well, a lot of the stuff is like especially on construction sites.
Don't forget to get in the mic there.
Oh, yeah, like especially on construction site in the heat, guys working in the heat, we advise them to have like water available.
Right.
They have a place where they can go in and take a break and be able to sit down under the cool. We recommend that they do stuff like that.
Stay hydrated
Stay
because
hydrated,
excessive heat is actually one of the ILO's theme for this year also, where it speak about heat stress. So we
So
just
they have
want to
recommendations for that.
Yeah, they have that in place.
Just want to encourage the guys, especially that work out on the construction site, to stay hydrated because it's a very, the temperature is fluctuating up and down.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And again, if those people exist and you're listening and your sites don't supply those things, there is a place where you can come
definitely.
To the
to
Department
lodge a
of
complaint.
Labor. Yes, sir.
The Department of Labor.
Yes, sir.
And the employer should provide water on the site
Right.
for those individuals
Yeah.
that
Right.
working on the construction site. It is their responsibility to do that.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Is this one of those things that you can now do on your new portal? Lodge a complaint like this against?
Yeah, any complaints you have, if you feel like you're not being dealt with fairly, and you felt you can report the matter to us, and we will look into it.
But I know you have a new on the new
My
portal, on
Gateway
the new My
that
Gateway
we
portal.
launched
Yeah.
last
Yes,
week.
we
Yeah.
can go on and you can apply for the notice of vacancy, which is a labor certificate.
Okay.
If you want to bring somebody in like a handyman or a living caretaker, or if a company like one of the big companies want a specialist,
Right.
but we also encourage them that, and the Prime Minister made a speech a couple months back where he was insisting that it's mandatory that we put Bahamians in a position to secure these jobs. So we always tell them anytime they bring in a specialist in, we always ensure and insist that they name a Bahamian understudy.
Yeah.
Because we have experts that's been here for like 10, 15, 20 years and in the same position and nobody's being trained. So we're really cutting down on that
Yeah.
and telling them, look, Bahamians are going to be in place. And what we do at understudy, we make sure contact them and speak with them to make sure that they are aware that they are the understudies.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sometimes they are, sometimes they aren't.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
I guess going back to some OSHA stuff, somebody texted in asking, what about power outages and AC outages? In the cases where it seems maybe BPL gone awry and people are in these work environments for a long period of time and there's no AC, can they say, look, I can't be in here anymore?
They have that right to contact the department. We have had issues in the past where persons would contact the department and inform us of their situation. So what we normally encourage employers to do, well, first of all, we find out from them if that is accurate. Once we go there and we let the employer know that, hey, you have to make a decision. You can't have persons working in these conditions like this with no electricity. So we find out when the situation is going to be corrected. If it is an employee on the employer side, we give them an opportunity to correct it, but have these persons rotated. They cannot be in there all day.
Right.
So if you cannot correct it, then you have to allow them to be working under those conditions like that all day in a heated place.
Yeah.
That in itself is a part of climate change also.
Right.
You know,
Right.
poorly ventilated places. So we want to encourage employers to ensure, because once the building is up and percolating, you get better productivity from your staff.
Yeah. It seems like some people just skirt the rules without any care. What does that say? I mean, the picture that she's talking about was basically almost directly across the street from the new U.S. Embassy site, which I'm sure was following all the rules. And then across the street, you got these people like making up their own rules, right? What do you think that says about how we deal with these things in the country? People don't seem to care.
Believe it or not, some employers, they have that mentality where they just don't care.
Yeah.
They just want the work done.
They want
just
the work
want
done
their work
and
done.
get that money because they want to get that money in their hands. So they really don't look at the seriousness of it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you have people, your employers, you have your employees working hard to try to get the work done, but you got to also be a part of helping them to get that job done
In a safe
in
environment.
a safe environment.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of insensitive employers. Trust me, believe me, I deal with it. You also have some very good ones also.
Yeah.
Who abide by the rules every step of the way.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
We don't have some of them. We don't have no issues with a lot. And one of our biggest challenges is security firms. They work these people hours upon. 12, 14, 15 hours, and they don't want to pay them the time and a half, or they don't want to pay them the overtime.
Right.
And we honestly and truly have to do something with the majority of these security firms in this country because they are taking advantage of the employees that work for them. Because look, these are poor people, some of them uneducated, who need to work, and they have bills.
When you say do something about it, isn't that the job of the Department of Labor?
Yeah, it is our job. But see, what you have to realize is that the Department of Labor, we only have so much teeth. We can only tell them, see, at the Department of Labor, we cannot and will not force you to do anything against our will. Our job is to be a mediator between both parties, try to get them to come to a compromise or an agreement, a trade dispute against management.
Right.
It is our job to have that come to arbitration, conciliation, and we have 2 to 3 meetings. Now, if the employer or the employee cannot come to a compromise or an agreement, that employee has 3 options. They could drop the matter, they can take it to small claims court, or instruct the Department of Labor to refer the matter to the Industrial Tribunal.
Right.
Those 2 entities will then have the final say on who should receive what.
Right.
So I think we need to be given a little bit more power, a little more teeth to put a little bit more pressure on some of these employers that's taking advantage of the workforce. Yeah, man, especially those security firms, man, because we've been having problems and issues with them for years.
Wow.
They work these people like slaves.
Yeah.
And they don't pay them. They don't pay them.
Okay, you heard that companies out there who doing that to their people?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Where is your heart? Do you have a soul?
And also, not only do the employers have a responsibility, employees also too, according to the Health and Safety Act, that's Section 7, that says general duties of employee, to take reasonable care for the health and safety, not only for themselves, but also for their colleagues also. So the employee has like I say earlier, their duties also.
Right, okay.
Now, what a lot of them does too is that what they do is they say, in the security room, they say, man, the employee, the worker will come to the boss and say, boss, I need to work some overtime because I need to make some money. My rent is due. I have to provide food for my family and stuff like that. And then they make this verbal agreement with the manager or the owner saying that, well, if you work, you can work regular time. That's not the law. Whenever you see, you cannot supersede everything any agreement that you make. The law supersedes that. You cannot compromise the law.
Yeah.
The law is the law. That's like me saying I go and I rob a bank. And I say, boy, the police might know who I is. I say, but you know what? Let me go take this this money back. I go back and I take the money back to the bank. That's nothing they gave me from. No, the police can still arrest me. I robbed a bank.
Yep,
You see what I'm
absolutely.
saying? That's the law.
Absolutely.
So again, we just Rosetta Street office. We have a booth there
Today.
today,
Yes.
which is going to be there from Monday to Friday.
Okay.
Showcasing our OSHA Day. So y'all feel free to come down to
Yeah.
the department. And we have a few items to give away at the
Free
department.
things?
So you can come down and get a few of our stuff we have on display. And
So
also
Chester
come
and I
and
are
see
going to
our
get our own bags, right?
and most definitely, most definitely. So this talk show today is very important to us because we definitely health and safety is a main concern, like we would have stated earlier.
Absolutely.
And a lot of persons are not aware of the things they can report to the department. So feel free, and even if you feel intimidated or whatever, you don't have to come into the department. You could call. You could stay anonymous to say, well, hey, XYZ is the case.
Right.
Again, you can contact us on 302-2550 or 302-2562. You can ask for Mr. Ken, Occupational Safety and Health Unit, or myself, or any team member from that unit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being on the show with us and talking to us about OSHA Day and some of the things that we need to fix
was a
across the
pleasure.
country. Somebody was asking for the address again.
Yeah,
Rosetta
it's on
Street.
Rosetta Street in the old City Market building,
Yeah.
right across from where the lady Donna Miller sells the greatest hot dogs in the Bahamas.
There you go.
So she owe me some money for giving her that little advertisement. I'm gonna make sure she give me that.
There you go. Kenneth Wilkinson, Sharon Moss, Tanisha Mortimer. Thank you so much for. Oh, you got one more thing?
So before
Yeah.
we go, we just want to say thank you to our new director, Mr. Howard Thompson Jr., for allowing us this opportunity to come down here and speak about OSHA Day.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Mr. Thompson. We appreciate you, sir.
And I also want to thank my PS, Miss Gina Thompson, who's the best PS in the
All
public
right.
service.
Hey.
And our minister, Pia Glover Road.
All right. Appreciate that. You can check out the business section of the Nassau Guardian this morning for your morning business report. That's brought to you by CFAL. See for Future Generations. That is our show for today. That's Morning Blend Business. On the Clock with Aaron Green is up next. Deandra, thank you so much.
Thank you, Chester.
It's great to see you again.
Always a pleasure.
And I'll be back tomorrow with more Morning Blend and Morning Blend Business. Have a great day. God bless. Take care of each other out there.
Have a good one.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.